No, I think you're being too hard on the players. It's a strategic game with a lot of moving parts constantly. These are smart people who are trained well at their sport. And, these penalties are, I think, a little bit overrated. You're playing for a full game here. You're not playing for this guy did this.
All right, thank you for the phone call. I have no idea what set him off about that.
I don't know. Neither one of us is complaining about the players getting. What I'm saying
they
is
did commit a lot of them, but
they got called for 12 that were accepted in the game, and the Lions anyway. And the secondary, and Terry Arnold in particular, is getting called for a lot of them. And our point was, I think that we're okay with it so far, because I don't want him to change necessarily his style of play. I like him being a big physical corner that you're going to have to win a battle to beat him. And, Carlton Davis was in a big physical battle with DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is one of the toughest receivers in the league to deal with because he's got elite speed and he's got elite strength for a wide receiver. He may not have the greatest hands. He's got really good hands, but he doesn't have the greatest hands. That's the only thing that keeps him from being the number one receiver in football. But you try to line up against that guy who's 6'4" and 225 pounds of solid muscle.
They're going to be problems.
He is a big problem.
Yeah, I don't know that the intent was not to be harsh on the players as it pertains to penalties. So I don't know how he interpreted that. So we must have done a poor job of expressing what we meant. But
I think we're upset with the officials more than the players.
Well, I didn't like the call where a Lions defensive back, and I think it was CD3, got tackled and called for holding. 248-539-9797. Phone calls, feedback. Karsch and Anderson. We go to MG and Troy. You're next. What's up, MG?
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
All right.
I'm ecstatic about the game, and I never want to say anything negative about Brad Holmes because he's earned all of our trust until the end of time. But I think one major concern I had from the game, the Lions play, I think, more man press coverage than any team in the NFL, or at least close to it. And a huge part of those corners being successful is consistent pressure on the quarterback. And Aiden's amazing, but if you watch the game last night, his snap count is high, and he gets gassed, and there's nothing to compliment him at all. And I just don't understand what this hesitation is in going after a team like the Jets, whose season is totally over, and making a play on Hassan Reddick. And I know that you can wait until the trade deadline because more teams will be in desperate sell mode.
Do you want to give him a contract?
Yeah, I honestly think that, and I get it, it's a lot of money, but we have the cap space. And I also think that if you trust one GM in the NFL to rework existing contracts moving forward, wouldn't it be Brad Holmes?
No, I understand that part of it, but I guess my thing is that they have cap space for sure, and if they want to make a trade for somebody, they can do it, and that cap space is good for this year and this year only. Cap space is different year to year, and if they're stockpiling cap space, if that's even what they're doing for years to follow, it's going to be to sign guys like Ali McNeil or Levi Onwuzurike who are eligible for contracts after this year, or it's to get a deal done with Aiden Hutchinson before you have to worry about it. They've got contracts from their own team they're going to have to worry about. So if you're going to try to trade for Hassan Reddick, you have to give Hassan Reddick an extension at an exorbitant price because, he's already lost out on $9 million this year just on principle because he's not going to play unless he gets a contract.
I guess there's two things about this. One is, A, we don't know that there's hesitation. We don't know that they haven't talked. We also don't know what the Jets want. It depends on the asking price. It depends on the asking price of the contract. It depends what other players they might have interest in that come at a much cheaper price that make more sense. I'm not convinced they're not going to address somebody across from Aiden Hutchinson. It just might not be Hassan Reddick. What if it's Max Crosby?
Right. I would agree with you. I think that's something they're going to look at. And it's, one of my observations from the game last night. It's another game where James Houston gets in the game and does nothing. He had a couple of offside penalties.
He also didn't have a tackle.
Right. He didn't have a tackle. It felt like he didn't get near the quarterback. And this is strange watching him because of what a phenomenal half a rookie season he had with the 8 sacks in 7 games. And we're all excited about him going to last year. And then he gets hurt way early in the season, doesn't come back until, the playoffs. And then, still isn't quite right. I don't know what's wrong with him. If he's still not quite right physically, or if it's just the teams figure out, he's a one-trick pony. Here's his spin move, and we got to be aware of this, or his dip, or whatever. and they know how to defend him, or is he just not? I don't know. He's not the same. He doesn't look like the same guy.
By the way, the Jets are 2-2, a game out of first.
Well, the Jets are not giving up their year.
Do you think they're in sell mode right now? Do you think they?
But they're doing this without Hassan Reddick. So if they can get something for Hassan Reddick, I think they do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but the caller's premise was the Jets' season is over.
No, well, they're not.
No, and with Aaron Rodgers there, they're not going to mail it in ever for the most part. But I think his point was, and I think you guys are kind of getting onto it a little bit, was if it's not Hassan Reddick, is it somebody else, though? Because Hutch, he's great. He's fantastic. But I saw him last night. He looked gassed at times because he goes all out every single play. And knock on wood, if something happens to Hutch, it ain't the answer isn't James Houston, clearly. And so I don't know who else the answer is. So do you think about going to get somebody, whoever that is, opposite Hutch, maybe to spell Hutch?
I would say it's quite likely to probable that they are thinking about how they can help with the pass rush.
Well, they're definitely trying Unzarike out there, and he's doing okay.